Hello, Year 11 parents and carers. My name is Mr. McMenamin and I'm the head of geography here at the Castle School. I've got a brief presentation to take you through some of the changes that have occurred for the GCSE in geography for 2022. It's worth noting at this point that the specification we study is the AQA 8035 specification at levels 9 to 1, and you can find that online. So let's have a look at what typically happens for a GCSE in geography each year. There are 3 exam papers. Paper 1, which is about physical geography, makes up 35% of the exam. Paper 2, which is all about human geography, makes up 35% of the exam. And paper 3, which is about geographical skills and applications, makes up 30% of the exam. And you can see the timings of the exams there on the left-hand side as well. There have been some changes for 2022. But the first thing to note is that there are still 3 exam papers and they are still weighted the same way. Paper 1, 35%, paper 2, 35%, and paper 3, 30%. Some of the content of those exams has been taken out. So some of the exams are shorter, but we'll go through each one in turn so you know exactly what you need to do for each exam and what you can expect. So let's start with paper 1. Paper 1 is the easiest one to give you an overview of because there's been no changes to it whatsoever. It's still worth 35% and it's still an hour and a half in length. It's made up of 3 sections. Section A, the challenge of natural hazards. Section B, the living world. And Section C, physical landscapes of the UK. Students will answer all questions in Section A. Students will answer all questions in Section B. And in Section C, students will answer 2 out of 3 questions from the following, either question 3, 4, or 5. You have a choice of answering questions on rivers, coasts, or glaciation. Now, because of this optionality within the paper, schools make a choice of which 2 they're going to teach and which 2 their students are going to ask questions on. Here at Castle School, we chose to focus on rivers and coasts, so students will not need to answer glaciation questions in their exam on paper 1. Every year there's someone who panics and thinks they need to answer all of the questions. You don't. You need to choose 2 of 3 in Section C, and we're focusing on rivers and coasts. They're the ones we've done in class. Paper 2 is where some of the changes start to happen. Similar to paper 1, it's split into 3 sections. Section A looks at urban issues and challenges. Section B focuses on the changing economic world. And Section C focuses on the challenge of resource management. Now, because of lockdown and lost learning time, the exam board have said that all schools and all students will be answering questions on Section A, urban issues and challenges, but they then have an option whether to do Section B or Section C. At the Castle School, we've chosen to do Section C. So paper 2 will now consist of students answering sections on urban issues and challenges and also the challenge of resource management. In Section A, they will answer all questions. And in Section C, they will answer some overview questions, some sort of generic questions about resource management before being asked to select questions from either question 3, 4, or 5, which are different specialisms of resource management. At Castle, we've been focusing on managing food as a resource, so students will be expected to answer questions around their specialism of food resource management. They can ignore questions on water and energy. Because of that optionality and because a section has been taken out, the paper has been shortened in length from an hour and a half to an hour and 15 minutes. Finally, paper 3 has also had some changes made to it. Paper 3 is about geographical skills and applications. It's been split into 2 sections, Section A and B. Section A is an issue evaluation. And what that means is 12 weeks before the students sit the exam, they will be released to schools an information booklet about a geographical topic that could be current in the news and it's likely to be linked to one of the units they've already done. In class, we go through this booklet, we tear it apart, we make sure we understand all of the information that's in there, and we start to think about the kind of questions that might get asked of students in the exam. Students will then go into the exam and be given a fresh copy of the information booklet and be asked questions on it. And hopefully we might have even guessed or practiced some of the questions that do come up. Section B is where some of the changes have happened. Section B is all about fieldwork. Fieldwork is obviously a big part of geography. And section B in this paper is split into two sections: familiar fieldwork and unfamiliar fieldwork. For this section, familiar fieldwork has been taken away. Normally, students doing GCSE geography will be expected to go out on field trips and conduct some data collection and do an investigation of their own. Typically, in this section of the paper, students will then be asked questions about the fieldwork that they undertook. But that has been taken out. Because of COVID, it's been very difficult to run any field trips anywhere in the country, so schools have been unable to do that. What is left is questions on unfamiliar fieldwork. So you'll still need to understand how fieldwork is set up, why we do fieldwork, the theory behind fieldwork, how we might collect data, present data, and how to come to conclusions. So we'll be doing some lessons on that in class because there still will be some questions on fieldwork. Because of that, the paper is shortened from 1 hour and 15 in length to 1 hour in length, but it still makes up 30% of your GCSE. Students will answer all questions in section A and all questions in section B. In terms of revision, there are 2 revision guides we recommend. Either or is fine because they're essentially the same thing. They are both created by the CGP Revision Guide Company. You'll see you want the one for grade 9 to 1, AQA. They're both editions of the same revision guide. So the green cover is the revision guide itself. The purple cover, which is normally a couple of pounds more, is the revision guide in the front with lots of exam questions and revision questions in the back of it for each section. So if you can afford the extra few pounds, I really would recommend getting the purple edition of the GCSE Geography Revision Guide. In school, we offer revision sessions every Tuesday after school with myself, Mr. McMenamin, in L8. This term we're focusing on urban issues and challenges for paper 2. It's only about half an hour, so you come, we do a short, snappy session, and hopefully it should help you with going away and doing some revision at home. Further revision resources will be made available on Show My Homework, including video recaps of the different sections, knowledge organisers, and case study packs. So keep an eye out for them and Show My Homework over the coming weeks. And of course, the geography teachers in school are happy to help at any time. You can email us or come and grab us in school and we'll find a time to sit down and talk through anything you're not sure about or anything you need a little bit of extra help with. I hope that's helped. And I hope that's cleared up some of the changes that have happened to GCSE Geography this year, and you feel a bit more confident going into them exams. Very best of luck, everybody. Do be in touch, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.